Hi, and welcome to CMPP's Speakers for Schools programme. My name's Rachel, and today I'm going to be speaking to Danusia Jolliffe. Now, Danusia works for a company called Tvision Technology, and that's based in Woking, and they're an organisation that provides technology solutions to help other businesses improve their business and finance, and they use a product that we all know with Microsoft. So Danusia is going to tell us a little bit about what she actually does and how she got to where she is today. So hi, Danusia.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for taking your time today. So can you tell us what you actually do for a job?
So I'm the marketing manager here at Tvision. And so what that involves is looking after all things which are the message to sell what we do to clients and to prospects. So I look after the website. So the website is basically our online magazine telling everybody all about the product, all about the options, how it can be implemented, how we deliver it, how we support it. I also arrange events, in the past face-to-face, but now online, and that will also tell people about what we do. It will introduce people online to the consultants that work here on a virtual chat like this. I also look after any print adverts that we do, so whether that's in the local Woking newsletter, any online in LinkedIn, or any advertising like that. And also anything else that crops up, in my day-to-day work.
Brilliant, thank you. So yeah, when you say marketing, it is really advertising and things, isn't it? Advertising your brand, yeah. Advertising your company, and
exactly right.
What have you? And so, can you tell us how you got to the position you're in today? So going back to when you left school, what happened? Tell us your career path.
So my background is science. And you wouldn't think that doing a chemistry and French degree would land you in an IT organization selling a Microsoft product, doing marketing for it. But actually, there is a thread that makes sense for the story. Yeah. So when I was at school, what I enjoyed doing the most was science and languages. And I managed to find a course which was chemistry and French together. So wow. I did my degree studying chemistry here in the UK at the University of Surrey, and then my year out was actually an industrial year placement. So I spent a year working, and I was working in Belgium in a French speaking lab. That was great fun, and I really liked the fact that it was a degree that allowed me to do a year out working rather than a year out studying, because there are the various options that people can do. When I finished that, I still wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And because of some health issues that I had, because I've got rheumatoid arthritis, my A-level results weren't as brilliant as I'd hoped they would be. And I was offered the chance to do a PhD in physical chemistry. So wow. I carried on with the chemistry. And then when I finished that, I still wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. And I got an office job. And whilst I started that office job, I realized that what I really enjoyed doing from my studies and then into this new office job was actually picking out the message and working out what it is that you need to tell people to help them to explain things. So that was the bit that I really enjoyed about university and undergrad and postgrad. And because I had a PhD that was funded, I had to give quarterly reports and presentations. So I had to summarize my data, summarize what it is that I'd learned, what information was out there, what research I'd done, and share that information with my supervisor. And that's kind of passed on through all the jobs that I've done. So I started off, as I said, an office manager. That company paid for my marketing qualifications. I then moved into an organization that did research and development, and I was a communications manager there. So that was doing newsletters and translating the research and the experiments that were getting done into such a way that everybody could understand what was being done. And then moving on from there, it was another marketing role. And then when this position came up in Woking, it was a marketing manager position that covered everything within marketing. So as I said before, the website, events, press releases, all types of communications. It fit really, really nicely. And that's what I love doing, the whole messaging bit. So actually from science to marketing, it actually made a lot of sense in the end, because that was what I enjoyed doing the whole time.
Wow, it's interesting to know that you didn't always know that you were going to end up in marketing then.
No, I didn't.
Did you have an idea? You didn't
No.
ever had any idea of what you wanted to do?
No, and my mum is a teacher, and funny enough, my sister's also a teacher. But I knew that that wasn't something that I wanted to do, even though there's clearly a family, link there. But I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I knew I hadn't found the right job until I came here to Tvision. I've been here 4 years now, and I know this is the right job for me. I absolutely love my job. I love the company. I love the people I work with, all the organisations that we communicate with, such as the CMPP. But no, this is perfect for me, and so I think you don't always find the right job first time. So you don't think that you have to stick with it. If you don't enjoy it, there's always going to be something else out there that you can find that you enjoy more. So yeah, you should never stick at a job that you don't enjoy, because you spend such a long time at work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure there's lots of people out there that don't have a clue what they want to do yet, and so it's really interesting to hear that, really, isn't it, that it's just developed over time and you sort of found the idea. And what skills do you think you've needed then, on top of your academic sort of skills, on top of your degree? Are there any other skills that you might advise would be needed?
So I think there are some skills that are, they call them, transferable skills, and as you said, life skills. I think if you're an organized person, that I think can apply to absolutely any job. You come in first thing in the morning, you work out what your to-do list is, you work out what your priorities are. What do you have to finish today? Obviously do that first, and then anything else that's a bit further out, towards the end of the week, then you can do that a little bit later on. So organization, I think, is really important. Multitasking, yes, that applies to work, but it also can apply at home, when you need to get stuff done at home. But I think it's really important for me, because I'm looking after the website, which includes things like SEO. So that's making sure the website is performing really well. So I look after the way the website is built. I look after any advertising for the website. I look after advertising for LinkedIn. I need to get press releases done on time, newsletters issued on time. So multitasking is really important, to know what needs to be done when and how long you can spend on different tasks. And I think another thing that's really important is attention to detail. So when I said before about I enjoy finding the right story and finding the right message to share, it's that attention to detail that will really help. And I think that can apply to a lot of jobs as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that. And what do you think you found most difficult on your career journey so far?
Do you know what? I think it was actually finding the right job and working out what I wanted to do. I think people who want to become a teacher, so like my mum and my sister, they're really quite lucky, because very early on they know exactly what it is they want to do. If you're not sure, that makes it harder, because you don't know whether to focus yourself on one sector to find a role or one job title to find a role. So once you've worked out roughly which area you think you're going to be good at, so for me, I realized it was that messaging bit, so communications and now marketing. Once I'd worked out that, I think it made it easier to then apply for jobs and then find the right job. But yeah, working out what you want to do is so hard. And now I saw a study recently that something like 70% of over 45s are now looking to change direction and retrain. So even if you do start a role and you start a career, if you realize that actually it's not making you happy, there is that chance and there is that choice to retrain later on, although it doesn't always fit in with your family, and financially it might be a little bit difficult, but you can always do that. So no one should ever feel that once they've decided that's it, that's for life, that's all you're ever going to do, unless you truly love it, like you're a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I was quite similar, actually. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I think there is a little bit of pressure there, isn't there, when you're trying to work out where you're going to go. But
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Valid point that you've made there is it to find out what you're good at, and then the rest sort of slotted into place, or it finds you, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And what have you found then most rewarding?
So I like it when things go well and when I get things right. So when the website performs well, or when my colleagues say, that's a really good job. So when I first joined Tvision, it was just me in marketing. We've now got a business development executive as well. We also have a marketing campaigns assistant. So I'm growing my team. So actually now, what I'm really enjoying is sharing the knowledge that I've learned and passing it on to other people and seeing them do well. So I think that's another really rewarding part of work, making sure your team is successful and making them successful and enjoying being with them and not just being by yourself anymore, just doing one task.
Yeah. And what does your future hold then? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time or?
God, 10 years' time. I think the chances are I'm probably still going to be here. As I said, I've been here 4 years already. That's passed so quickly and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I think Tvision, because we've been going 20 years and, you know, we're doing well, I think there's an opportunity for me to grow here. I'd love to grow my team even further. And for a marketing manager to be successful, I want my sales manager to have so many leads, so many different possible brand new clients and new business that she doesn't know what to do with. So if I can do that by increasing my team and increasing the, you know, interest and inquiry levels, people trying to find out about Tvision, I would think that was, you know, my definition of success. And I'd really, really like to do that here at Tvision. I really love my job.
It's really lovely to hear as well when you find something that you really love, and you can sort of
Yeah.
see that from the way you're talking about it. It's really
Mhm.
lovely. And obviously you've talked about juggling and multitasking and things like that. It's quite a lot of pressure. Do you have any interests or hobbies that help you support any stresses or pressures with your work?
So I play in a local netball team. Well,
Oh,
I
do you?
did prior to lockdown. Yep. So
Yeah.
playing a netball team with my team, that's great fun. And actually, I've realised that I seem to watch a lot of cop dramas and TV thrillers. So again, when I said before about finding out the story and picking out the detail, I love looking and trying to work out what's going to happen next. So whilst I do that in my work life, I think I obviously do that as well in, you know, in downtime. And I do love watching thrillers and cop dramas and trying to find out the details. So, so yeah, that's kind of my wind down, really. Those kind of shows.
Yeah, love that. And finally then, can you give any advice to sort of students starting out in their career journey? Just, yeah, any pointers? You've given some great points already, but any final advice?
So I think there are a few things really. So as I said before, I think you should study subjects you enjoy. Now, I know you can't always choose because you get given 5 subjects and you have to choose 4 of them, for example. I would definitely say pick the ones you enjoy doing the most, because if you enjoy doing something, it doesn't feel as hard. Therefore, you might as well study a subject that you enjoy doing. And once you finish your GCSEs or your A levels or an apprenticeship, um, and you're still not sure where to go, you can still upskill, you can still change your mind, you can start doing a career, go into it, be successful at it, and then change your mind later on. You don't have to do the same thing forever. There's no such thing as a job for life anymore. And I know a lot of, you know, parents and grandparents would have done that. They'd have done the same thing. But we now have that element of choice. There are so many different opportunities out there. You could start your own business if you've decided that, you know what, I don't want to work for anyone anymore. I can start my own business. And then the last thing I'd say is probably about having, as you said, hobbies and outside interests. Means you can meet different groups of people, you can get a different perspective, rather than always asking your family for an opinion. When I go out with my netball girls, you know, I've got someone different to talk to there. I'm the club secretary for my children's, both boys play football again, so that's another group of people that I get to speak to doing something completely different. It just gives you a different outlook and a different, I guess, perspective from other people on what you're doing. So yeah, always ask lots of different people for advice, and you don't have to stick at the same thing forever.
That's absolutely brilliant and so true on so many points there. Thank you so much for your time, Danusia. It's been brilliant hearing from you.
No, thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope that it might give people an inspiration just to look at marketing as a different career path that perhaps they hadn't considered.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much.